else. It sounded, I don't know about this one.
I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style from me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde.
Family Room Podcast. Yes.
I'm just a bad boy.
Episode 45. I'm Mike Rome.
Chain choker, always remain sober. I wanna be like and all the game's over. Need a plane, I explained it to my broker. 3 box in the hood top down and ain't over.
And we finally back in person, man. I'm gonna keep my energy up even though it's the third take, just to be real. Anyway, we back in person, man. Like I was just saying.
Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
Glad to be
We back here in Vista at the homie Triz house. The homie Jesse Williams back on the podcast with us. How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
I don't know about y'all, but I woke up with so much energy this morning. Always coming to do the podcast today. I was excited, bro. Man, I was excited. I was like, I can't wait. Like I had the bags packed and everything, but you know it always takes us forever to get out the house, especially with 2 kids.
Oh, so you got the bag packed?
Especially with 2 kids now. Well, I had to like the equipment packed up, but I had to like pack Baron up and you know what I mean, drop him off at the sitter and all of that.
Yeah. Got the new one. Oh, before we get started, man, shout out to everybody working from home. My wife is a teacher working from home. Zoom meetings with the staff, Zoom meetings with the kids, and her kids are all like suffering from autism. So she's man. I just seen her work on that. That's a hard job to do from a distance. You know what I mean? Everybody's making that change and working at home, working remotely, making it happen. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the first responders and everybody out there still doing the damn thing. It's getting better, but they still out here.
Shout out.
What you been up to, Triz?
Shit, just working. You know, night shift. Ain't nothing changed up over here.
Feel that night shift, boy. Boy, that's a different life. You told me it was a different life, man. I started working that night shift. That shit is a different life.
It's funny y'all say that because I was gonna bring this up. I feel like now with 2 kids, I feel like I've been working from home, like especially now with the quarantine going on. But like now I'm home all the time, and Keish just had the baby, so she home all the time now. Mm-hmm. But even though we both home, I feel like we both like I'm working like a 3/4 a day job, like not like 3/4 of the 8 hours, like 3/4 of the full 24.
Yeah.
And she's working nonstop around the clock, and when my 3/4 in, I gotta go help out with the rest of her day. Mm-hmm. And while my 3/4 is going, I gotta like take time to go and check on her and make sure she good. It's I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, it's weird because like I got like almost got like a clock in my head, like, oh, go upstairs and check on her. Go upstairs and check on her. Go upstairs and check on her. Sure. Like, oh, perfect. Yeah, because I need to take a shower. I need to go to the bathroom. So the milk is in the fridge. Go ahead, do this, do that, so I can do this and do that. Mm-hmm. It's a good feeling though, man. It's a good feeling.
Man,
still
like,
want one more.
I know. Like for us, I think we're getting to the point. Everything was fun and all that, but first, like figuring out different ways to do stuff, get in contact with your friends, whatever, like all that stuff. But like lately, it's just like you don't. Not like stuff's been bad at home, but it's like you just feel the like time that you got to been on top of each other. You know what I mean? Like all the time. Like I'm a person. I like my alone time. I thrive on that. I need that. You know what I'm saying? And that's been eliminated. You know what I'm saying? She's a person that like she likes to go out and do her things with her friends, and she's been forced to be in the house. She'll go on a hike. She'll go chill with her girls. She'll go to happy hour, whatever. And all that's gone. And just like at this point, how long it's been, even though stuff is opening back up, I'm like, damn, bro. We just took a drive down the beach the other day. Didn't get out the car, wasn't near nobody, but just took a drive to the beach and went down the beach just to see something different, bro. Cause man, we gotta get this shit figured out for real.
I seen they finna like move forward with like I guess the second part of phase 2 or whatever phase 2 is. Like I guess they're like opening restaurants. Like obviously you still have to like be seated spaced apart, but you know what I mean, they opening the restaurants back up and stuff like that. So I guess that's a good thing. I'm still not going out to any restaurants, but
I'm not going nowhere.
Nah.
That's what we said. We were like, bro, they open all that stuff up. We're gonna have to be in the phase 3 before me and wifey start going out places and stuff like that. And then even after, when they're like, oh, everything's good, we already decided we're gonna be like a month or two behind.
Yeah, I'm still not going nowhere.
Like, it's gonna be a long time before I'm comfortable and not thinking
I don't
about
really go nowhere anyway.
what could be.
That's what this showed me, that how much isolated I already am. So I'm like, dang,
see,
all I already do is go to work, come home.
It definitely showed me how much I don't really need to go out anywhere. And how much more content I'm gonna be after this is over with just being home. Because there's sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I will be home and I will feel like man, like sometimes like on a weekend when DeAndre hit me up like, nah, I'm finna do the family thing this weekend, fam. And after a while, like after Keish go to bed at like 11:30, Baron sleep by like 11:15, and I could have been with him till at least like 1:30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I could have went out, man. I could have went out, but I'm like, nah. But now I really like, you know what I mean? Like I said, it really show you like how much you really truly don't need it.
yeah,
don't need it.
Groups of people ain't where it's at.
Nah, see, man, like I've been missing it, man. I've been missing going out, kicking it with the friends, going out, just being able. Like a lot of times, me and White, we just telling Isaac this the other day. I mean, Kevin this the other day, like. We'll just come on and be like, oh, wanna go to the bar, get a drink? Go to the bar, have a drink. Like, we could have a drink in the house, but we just go out to get out of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick?
Testing.
Not like from where you go me sitting.
Testing.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, and that sucked. That sucked. Because that's something like we do. We don't do it often, but we like being able to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Coming home from somewhere like, oh, I don't feel like cooking. Oh, let's stop right here. Let's go to BJ's real quick. You know what I'm saying? Go to the bar, have a drink, have something to eat, and then get home.
Yeah, no, that stuff's cool because we used to go to Rookies. We would go to Rookies for happy hour every like Thursday.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
little
clean. Have a
stuff.
weekly joint. Yeah. During football season, man, I'm glad that, look, man, football season when I do be going out though, I'll be hitting you up like, you want to catch a game?
Yeah,
be hitting Isaac up like, you trying to catch a game? You hitting Derek up like, what you trying to go to Buffalo Wild? What you trying to do, bro? Like, football season where it's at. I'm glad. Look, they said we should be good by football season, dog. They said we
No,
should
they're
be
not
good.
gonna mess up their money like that.
They
It's still
already
gonna be
have
on
it.
TV.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on TV if nothing
It's gonna
else.
be on TV.
They're not gonna be like the NBA and like, oh, maybe we'll play with fans, maybe we won't. Like the NFL is definitely gonna move forward.
Yeah.
With or without fans. They're
Well, you know, the
playing
NBA, the Lakers got to clear to open their facility, what, on the 7th? Or something like that. So the season coming back. You know, LeBron getting back in the gym, it's coming back.
Speaking of large gatherings not being a wave anymore, you know who I feel bad for through this whole COVID-19?
Restaurant owners.
Omarion.
What?
Bro,
Omarion good.
But like he masterminded that whole, you know what I'm saying, dropped the rest of B2K, picked up Bow Wow, got the tour going, and then boom, everything just shut down. I thought about that the other day. I was like, man, he's supposed to be rocking right now, man.
A lot of people supposed to be rocking.
He's supposed to be rocking.
A lot
right
of
now.
artists that depend on touring are hurting right now.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Hurting right now. Like,
And
they've
most
been out there getting bread. Now
artists,
trying
that's
to
how
find
they
a way
make
to
the
get
majority of
bread.
their
Yeah,
money.
they're trying to find a way to get that money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's all bad.
What you want to get
I seen what is it, Lil Baby? He went to his record label, said, I need $5 million or I gotta go back to hustle.
I meant to talk to you about that last time we did a podcast. Yeah.
He gave a real one.
He said, I need my bread or I'm getting back to the streets, fam.
Son. And what they hit him?
They gave him the bread.
Oh, okay.
Said, keep your ass at home.
That's their investment. That's their investment.
Hey, but you know what I was saying? Okay, look, let's talk about this when we talking about the COVID shit. They paid people to stay home. I think that minimum wage everywhere is going to have to go up. I think they're going to have to give American people tax breaks to go back to work. There's people that are making double what they was making on unemployment right now.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Unemployment goes up in 2021 to $15.
And I'm saying without that, like they've been throwing an extra $600 on top of whatever you getting from unemployment because of the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
There's over 52 million people on unemployment. Like over half of them are making more money sitting at home than they were going to work every day.
Most of the people that I've spoken to that are on unemployment right now, they're making more money.
Yeah, no, everybody is. Everybody is. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching something. It was a senator. A senator, I forgot what state, but he was up yelling like in a Senate meeting talking about we need to figure this out, we need to get to the bottom of this because I have a whole state full of people that aren't trying to work because they're making more money. He's like, they're making California wages here and they don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
He was like, I have a whole state of people not working, man. Like this is not
and
good.
And that's
for
what it
us.
is when everything does open up, no one's going to want to go back to work.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And they're going to have to pay us to go back to. I mean, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna have to pay motherfuckers.
But I mean, from the aspect of people that had to work hard to even commit to themselves to have to be able to work every day. Because being able to get up and go to work every day isn't in everybody.
No, it's not.
So think about it. You just got into that aspect of working every day, and then this happens. You start making more money not working. Now you're back being a bigger couch potato than you ever started off.
And I'm saying they're gonna have to incentivize us up in minimum wage, up and doing whatever they gotta do to get people to be like, I'm gonna get off my couch. I'm gonna go get me a job.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
I think what it is, a lot of businesses realize how many of their employees can simply work from home.
That too.
And so they're gonna be
of Twitter straight from home.
And I read an article. Actually, I'm glad I thought of that right now. I read an article yesterday. It said a lot of I forget what part of the country, but they said a lot of grocery stores are essentially just turning into big warehouses to house the food, and you just order it online. Mm-hmm. They said that's like, even after the quarantine, that might be what it turns into. Like, you order your food, they come and bring it to you. The grocery store is literally just to house it.
I don't think it'll turn into that, because people like specialized stuff too. People like going to deli. Think about it. It was already online shopping. You can have
they tried to push it that way
or do whatever. People weren't using like that until now. I mean, me personally, I like to go in the store and get my produce. I like to see it. I like to touch it.
Sure,
you know,
produce.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And don't be trying to bring me no seafood, my shrimp and stuff.
I don't just run in. And grab a pack of patties. I go to the meat. I like, I want that much of that. I want that much of that. Bag it up.
Your meat been on the truck all day making deliveries.
Yeah, like, I'm coolie. You know what I mean? Some of your food you need to go physically touch. You know what I'm saying? Me and wife have been talking about, because we want to save and move out, buy something pretty soon. Like, we gotta have enough room for a sizable garden, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, this can't happen, and I'm like, go to the store, all the produce gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, this can't happen again. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. I ordered toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic. It's coming on Friday. Because toilet paper's been back ordered on Amazon? What? Like...
That's what I was telling you when y'all came over on Sunday. On the anniversary of Nipsey's death, I ordered a All Money In hat, and I still ain't got it yet.
Bro, I tried to get a mask from Nip. They came out at 8 o'clock, bro. I clicked it at 8:02. It was gone. Or at least I was behind whoever's server was already on ordering it. I was like, come on, man, I'm trying to get a COVID mask, bro.
Let's get into some of these topics, man. There's a whole bunch of podcast news. Have you been paying attention to any of it? Like with some of the bigger podcasts?
Just because I listen to the Joe Budden podcast, I know about the Girls with the Sports podcast.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, I don't really pay attention to it.
I
was mainly talking about Joe Rogan moving over to Spotify exclusively, even his videos, which is a big deal because he was putting them on his own YouTube channel, making a lot of money on ads, I'm sure. So the fact that the videos are going to be exclusive on Spotify as well is pretty interesting. And then also Gilly the Kid and Wallow, $1 billion worth of game, their podcast, they got to deal with Barstool, and they had like some beef with the dude that was like producing their podcast for them. Essentially, they had some beef with him, so I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of that because I thought it was funny. And I follow Gilly on Instagram, and I watch like pretty much all of his videos, some of them multiple times because he's so funny. And I love how he could just turn it on for the camera, like make like the angry face, and you think this nigga really angry enough to punch a wall, and you know as soon as the video off, he just back to chilling. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, but he cleared up a lot of like, I guess, some of the speculation around it. So,
what was the speculation?
So what happened was, well, the initial story was that, which had some truth but a lot of untruth to it. The initial story was that he and his cousin Wallow267, their podcast $1 million worth of game, got they were doing their podcast with this dude named Dev at his studio, and he was like the third mic on the podcast,
producing it and all that.
Right. But I don't think a lot of people knew that, though. That's why I was getting to that later. A lot of people didn't know that he was producing and like and doing all that.
I mean, but if you're in his studio.
But I don't think everyone knew that was his studio. I think people just thought, like, I think people learned that over time after watching the podcast. And I think most people that didn't watch the podcast avidly didn't know exactly who he was and why he was on the podcast to begin with. And so a lot of people thought that after like 68 or 86 or whatever the number of podcasts that they did, that they got the deal after that, and that they was doing everything for free, and that Dev was just doing it on the strength. And that wasn't true. Gilly said no, we paid him every month. Like he had a monthly fee that we paid him like to do the podcast there. So it wasn't like we were just doing it for free on the strength, and now we got all this money and we treating them bad. That wasn't the case. And so he's pretty much just like pretty much saying like if you don't know, like don't talk about my podcast. You know what I'm saying? But it got me to thinking about if that were the case. So what people thought was that, like I said, they did the podcast with Dev at Dev's studio, and Dev did all the editing of the audio and everything, and it's Dev's studio. And so a lot of people thought that they did it for free for 80 something episodes, got the deal. Dev wanted to be a partner. Gilly said no, and now there's this big argument about it. When Gilly's like, nah, bro, like you're not the reason why this podcast is successful. Like it's good because of me and my cousin, not because of you. Like you were on the podcast because we was in your studio. Yeah, sure.
Cool. That's the only reason you're on there.
Yeah. Right. But what I'm saying is, imagine that was the case. What if they did do it for free? What if they did do it at Dev's studio all of that time, and Dev did all of that work for them for free, and now they get the deal? And what the discrepancy was, Dev wanted to own 15%, and Gilly was like, nah, like I'm gonna give you a fee. And no. So dude was like, that's not fair. Like I don't want a fee. I want to be a partner. And Gilly was like, nah, you're not gonna be a partner. But I'll you know what I'm saying, I'll give you more money than what I initially gave you, but you're not gonna be a partner. And so Dev eventually just walking away. How do y'all feel about that?
See, I heard that after that, Gilly was like, no, you're not getting 50%. He was like, okay, then pay me all my fees for doing all this on the stream all this time. But
that's not true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
The moral thing would be, if you're going to continue the podcast as is, that you loop everybody in that's on the podcast, because it got successful with the three of us on here. Or at least we got to where we got money behind this with all three of us on here. Yeah. Everybody should get a percentage. You know what I'm saying? Like take our podcast. Like,
but he said he was going to give him a cut, right?
Yeah,
he just wasn't going to be moving forward.
He was essentially going to be not an employee, but a contractor for the podcast.
Yeah, instead of owning part of it. Because
say like Ash and Dion, like they wanted me to bring all of our equipment and come produce them. And from time to time the camera's on me, and from time to time I say stuff on the podcast. Then the podcast get this deal, and I'm asking for a percentage of the podcast now. You know what I'm saying?
See, I think that's different though, because he was on it every week though, right? Yeah. He's on it every episode. Yeah, you guys may have put him on camera because you felt like it's his stew and he want to be on and all of that. But when the podcast got successful, the three of us were on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was gonna say, like, let's take our situation. Me and you do this podcast every week. Me and you. Sometimes Jesse on, sometimes Isaac on. You know what I'm saying? Like we have different people on, but every week it's me and you. If the podcast gets successful, Jesse been on a couple of times. He can't be like, yo, loop me in. But if he's here every week, you know what I'm saying? And then we get successful, he like, hey, I need a percentage. You know what I'm saying?
Like if I started from here on out.
And I'm going to continue, especially if we're moving forward with that same formula, the three of us are going to be on it. Yeah, I don't think that's an unfair ask. It's within Gilly's right to say no. If he owns it, you know what I'm saying? It's his intellectual property. He can say, no, this is me and my cousin, we'll go on without you. And then see how you going to do. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't a terrible ask to be looped into that. Like 80 something episodes.
15%.
That's a lot. Oh.
But we paid. I paid you. I paid you every month.
No. You paid me for producer work every month.
15.
You paid me for producer work every month. For the stew every month. You didn't pay me to be on the podcast every month. You know what I'm saying? I was on the podcast because we was doing the podcast. Now we successful, bro. Like, look at what you mean. It's different now.
Oh, he was charging them for producing the podcast, not for being on the show.
I think, like I said, it's within Gilly's right to be like, no, and y'all negotiate that. But just for him to be like, you ain't have no bearing on this success. Like, why'd you do 80-something episodes with me on here? At some point, it was good. You wasn't going with a bad idea, and then somebody was like, hey, man, I want to put some money behind that.
And see, I'm actually putting myself in Dev's shoes, because I'm looking at it like, if I didn't think the number that he offered me was fair, I would have asked for more, but I don't think I would have asked for a ownership stake in their podcast. I don't think I would have done that.
It's not there, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think if you're on something, 80-something straight episodes, that you're going to think you're not a part of that. you're gonna be like, bro, I
okay,
put it on all of this.
But it ain't like
I've been here for the whole.
It ain't
shit.
like he get mad airtime, bro. If their podcast was 2 hours, Dev maybe spoke all of his time together, and it was in pieces. All of his time together, maybe 10 to 15 minutes of podcast.
All I'm saying is like when I first started watching the Joe Budden podcast, Parks wasn't talking like that. And now he is. They wasn't like, yo, Parker, you're not as much a part of the podcast as you know what I'm saying? It's like they acknowledge that he's part of the pod.
It's different though. It's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. Like they could that podcast was going to be successful with or without Parks' commentary, but his commentary definitely made it better because he has an expertise in the music, a specific expertise in the music business. Dev didn't offer that for their podcast. They don't talk about music stuff, and Dev is a producer and he can give it up like that. They're talking about street stuff like that, and Dev ain't not to make it like just box it into just that, but Dev ain't offering no expert analysis.
But I don't think you gotta have expert analysis. It's about that I've been there all this time.
I'm not saying just about it being expert analysis. I mean something specific that you add something here that we otherwise would be lacking, and we're gonna anything you take away. Like I could do the podcast. Like you could do the podcast with another partner. I could do it with another partner, but it's special because it's you and I. We're brothers. We've been doing it from day one. With together. We have we have 30 something years of memories that we could pull from and relate to. You know what I'm saying? It's different in that way. So yeah, you could do the podcast with somebody else, but is it really going to be the same? And that's what I'm saying. What you offer to the podcast. Like that's like if I no disrespect to Jesse, but if I do it with Jesse, it's not gonna be the same. I would love to do a podcast with Jesse. Maybe we'll do something else, but it wouldn't be the same as a Family Room podcast because of the dynamic that you and I have. And I think that's the unique part. He didn't offer anything unique to the podcast that they're now missing. That he could be like, I'm this important.
Give me 15%.
Yeah.
I'm not even disputing that. I'm not arguing that.
And I think that's the main point.
I'm just saying that if I'm in those shoes and I've been there all this time, so if I'm so insignificant to this, why have I been here all this time? And why are we talking about how significant or insignificant I am now that there's money coming in and we're talking about splits?
Because you brought it up.
No, but all I'm saying is if I wasn't valued, I wouldn't be here.
And now you're not.
Because I asked for something. If the money never came in the way,
No. That contradicts what you just said. Because if you are valued, you're gonna be there. That means you're gonna be there, right? You're gonna be there.
No,
he's not there.
No. You're choosing to tell me that I don't have to be here because I asked for a percentage. If the money and stuff never came in, we just would have kept on going as usual. You'd have came to the stew and we would have recorded. You'd have came to the stew and we would have recorded. You came to the stew and we recorded.
That's contradicting what you're saying.
No, I'm talking about their situation.
That's like Barry Bonds said, I need this lazy boy in my locker room. It's like, nigga, we ain't getting you no lazy boy. But no,
I'm out.
Exactly, I need this. You have to have me here because what I bring is dominant. What I bring is unique. So you're gonna capitulate to what I need. You're not that important, Dev. So we're not gonna capitulate to what you need.
Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with that.
And that's all I'm saying.
But the feeling of, like I said, come on, dog, Gilly, you would have got him out of here had he not asked you for a split. But bro, he's asking for a split because he's been on it all this time, and now somebody came and said, "Hey, I like that. What you guys have been doing, the three of you." They're watching the three of us for 80-something episodes. And now I'm not important. And yes, you can get rid of me. You can keep on doing the podcast. But it looks funny now. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Dev was getting any money, any ad revenue on their YouTube?
I'm not talking about no money before. When they get the deal, because I've been on the podcast. Bro, like I said, Jesse's not on the podcast every episode. But how would you feel you on the podcast for 55 straight episodes and then we get a deal and then we like, nah. We could do without Jesse. Like, yeah, we could, but we got successful with him on here. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, like, but that's why. That's why if he's producing, I'm gonna pay him.
The difference with that would be is I'm sitting here in the midst of you. That guy that you guys sound like you're talking about is sitting in the corner, and they're panning on him from time to time.
And that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. It's you and I sitting right here. Booth. He's sitting over there at your desk, and when he says something, the camera's on him, and it's just a shot that's on him, and he talks real quick, and it goes back to Gillian Wilder.
And what he has a problem, the stuff that he's saying is probably written down for him to be put.
And I feel what you're saying. You don't even see Park's face on the Joe Budden podcast. So I get what you're saying, but his commentary, like even if you don't ever see Parks, which we don't, unless you watch, I gotta back up, unless you watch the live podcast on YouTube, you don't ever see Parks. But his commentary, it's still a podcast. It's still an audio experience before anything else. What he's saying is very important.
Consistently,
you can feel him all you want, but that's why you're not there no more. And I bet he would have been better off still on there than not.
I mean, that doesn't mean. I mean, that's just asking him not to work. That's asking him to work for what he doesn't feel like he's worth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, work for whatever then, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I'm not mad at him for asking.
Go
I'm
do
definitely
you
not mad
do.
at
Like,
Gilly
you know
and
what
Wallow
I'm
for being like, nah, I'm not. You can ask all you want, but I mean, hey.
Can't be mad at the answer you get either.
I guess we'll see when he starts his podcast.
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying that he's ever going to be more successful than them. I'm not talking about a competition.
Right.
How would you feel you done something hella long, been hella consistent? You know what I'm saying? What if I've been a flake? What if I've been a flake in the stew? And all of that. What if I never say nothing? That's different if I don't never say nothing. But I've been here and I've been a part of this. They didn't talk about this our podcast and you on the side, homie. They be like, oh, we gonna come together and do the pod.
Is his name in the
You know what I'm saying? It's like
what does the name say?
$1 million worth of game with Gilly and Wallow.
Well then yeah, he can't be mad.
That's like
it's y'all name in there and then I'm mad that I'm like, hey, y'all not I can't come with y'all.
That's like we start a sneaker. Y'all start a sneaker company. Y'all got all the dope designs. Y'all know how to. Y'all know what it should look like.
But it looks better on your foot.
No. Y'all know what it should look like. But I supply the materials. And now everybody sees y'all shoe. And now y'all get a deal. Y'all get to put y'all stuff in Foot Locker now. I don't now get to own a part of the shoe. Y'all just better pay me accordingly. Now that y'all done blew up, and I got the materials that you need. Just pay me accordingly.
Or we gotta find somewhere else.
Joe Budden.
I'ma just inflate you. You getting that type of money to do your podcast, and you doing it in my studio. Then pay me accordingly for that. But I don't mean I get to own your podcast now.
No, that's true.
Do you think Rory Mullen Parks have ownership in the Joe Budden podcast? Because Joe Budden's name on it, he is the draw. All of that. Do you think they're contracted?
I think Joe, Rory, and Maul own it together, if I'm not mistaken. I think the three of them own it together.
No, I think the Joe's explained. I think he said all of them have percentage in it, and Parks included.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because like.
And that's also different because Parks is his man, and that's a real relationship. And he brings Parks when he goes to do State of the Culture. Parks is the sound engineer on State of the Culture. Like Parks is his engineer everywhere he goes.
But I'm saying as far as the Joe Budden podcast, he doesn't have to own a person. He could contract Parks to record the Joe Budden podcast, but he has ownership
and that
because
would be
he's
fine.
Been consistent. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but I'm saying like it's not a far ask. It's not out of the realm, and you could answer it, but like. I feel like the way you're saying is like, okay, you can ask for whatever you want, nigga. Like, but it's not a crazy ask. It's not. Maybe 15% is too high, but to have a percentage of this when I'm here 86 episodes in a row and now we blow, were they looking at it like we, or was it looking at it like us and a him? You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said the sneaker thing. If I go and drop it in any other business, any other situation, you don't get to own a piece of it now. Even if when y'all making the shoe and you say you and Jesse designed that Nike that you got on your foot right now, people can't see it. But if that Nike that's on your toe was white, and I was like, yo, y'all should make that yellow, and I do that on a few sneakers here and there. I don't get to be an owner in the company now.
I think that's different, and I think podcasting is way different. I think podcasting is way, way different. You could physically say I put that much in. When you're panning to somebody, that is part of you guys' flow. That is part of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? There's people that we had on there we like more than other people because of how we really enjoyed having Trev on because of how it felt, how it flowed. You know what I'm saying? If Trev is consistent for 86 times, or we could do it without him, but we like that flow, he might not talk a whole bunch, but. We weren't going into this saying like, yo, you on the outside, like you just kind of here. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it feels.
What I'm arguing is, if they felt like his contribution was that significant, he would have gave him what he wanted.
I don't think so. I think if you have the power, you're gonna do what you have the power to do, and that's why I said it's not a crazy ask. What if you think? So you think if Gilly would have came at him and be like, yo, let me get 5%, he'd be like, yeah, throw that at you.
So you think
what percentage do you think Gilly would have been good with?
Maybe 5.
I don't think he would have been good with no percentage because he don't gotta give him no percentage. He can get him the fuck out of here. And that's why I said it's not a terrible ask, maybe 15%, but you wouldn't negotiate on that. It wouldn't be let me get 50% and I get up out of here. There's no negotiation.
But what I'm arguing is you can only negotiate and ask for what you think you're worth in that space.
And that's why I asked you, what do you think Gilly would have?
That's why I said maybe 5, and you said, oh nah.
But that's what I'm saying. But how do you determine that? Because he didn't negotiate with him. He asked for 15. He told him to get the fuck out of here. If he felt like I value you at a certain percent, he'd be like, I don't think 15, bro. I'm starting at 5. Let's talk from 5.
Maybe
we don't that's how negotiation happens.
From the details we got, he asked for 15. Gilly said no, but I'll up your fee. And Deuce said nah. And that was the end of it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not a negotiation. That's a hard line. That's not. That's a hard line. I'm only gonna give you a fee. We're not talking about all this, even though you've been consistent all this time. We're not gonna talk about it.
Because what I'm willing to give you isn't what you're talking about.
But a negotiation is finding a middle. It's not what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. You think they negotiated that from how that sounds? You think that was a negotiation?
Not if the ballpark you're even talking about isn't even close to what I'm offering.
Why would I give the producer with a very, very 15. Insignificant contribution to what we're doing here? Why would I give him any say so? And what we live in Philly. What if we want to go do this in LA now? And he like, nah, we gotta vote on that. I'm like, nigga, we don't. What? Vote what?
You have to.
And I'm giving him control? No. And that's why he didn't get that money, because what he says at the end of the day isn't that important to that podcast. It's not. Him producing, it's not that important. That's why he didn't get that.
That's why I keep on saying I'm not arguing how important they feel it is. But when you don't
You're
negotiate,
arguing fairness?
No. When you don't even negotiate, this person that's been on here for 86 episodes, you're saying they are a 0. You had a 0 on your podcast for all this time. When you don't negotiate, you're like, I'm not gonna do nothing you're talking about. This is my line. This is my spot. 50%? Hell no, get out of here. That's not a negotiation, bro.
And so what? So what?
And I'm speaking to value. When you say what is his value, like he didn't value him at all. Why'd you have him on there all this time?
Because we were using your studio and I was paying you.
A producer. Now that you're here,
that's crazy. I'm not doing nothing that consistently, and it's out of the realm for me to ask, am I a part of this?
They do that on Shark Tank all the time. The person that's coming in there with the new business, they're like, will you take this? And sometimes they'll be like, nah, I know my worth. I'm too important. I from what I bring, I can't do that. Why am I going to give...
They're not already in business on Shark Tank. They're looking for a handout to boost what they already have going. I've been here. If this was a Shark Tank analogy, I've been part of the business. And now we got successful, and I'm asking, how important am I? You don't want to talk to me at all after I've been here all this time.
I'm going to give I have a podcast, and I'm going to give a say-so to the producer who contributes maybe 10 minutes a podcast. What if I want to move? What if I want to go do a deal with Spotify? And he's like, nah, don't mess with Spotify. We got to go to Tidal. Yeah. And he has a say-so now, and all he does is record. I don't want to minimize it because, I do it here. But you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is somebody else can sit here and do this and not talk on the microphone. I don't need you to talk on the microphone. Yeah, people don't tune into this podcast to hear from Dev. They don't.
And that's why I said
they don't.
Joe Budden could replace people on there. But all of them have ownership.
The same.
And when they have, and it wouldn't be the same. But he could do it and still be successful and get a bag. You telling me the Joe Budden podcast wouldn't work if they replaced 1 or 2 people? They're huge, Mike. They're the number one. They're the number one podcast on Spotify.
Nope, it would not be the same if they.
It wouldn't be the same. Person. But Joe could still get paid. He could still get paid and say, "I'm still going to make money off this podcast. I could get somebody else and pay them a smaller percentage. I don't need that." That's all
I'm saying is, of course, you can still get paid. If you replace Rory, Mal, or Parks, the podcast changes, and all the listeners know that. Gilly knows that without Dev on that podcast, nothing really changes and I don't lose any listeners. Therefore, you are not that important.
And you're not getting 15%.
That's it.
That's for damn sure.
I'm not arguing this nigga's 15%, bro. But when this is what I'm saying. Look, to me, Gilly looks silly. He looks silly. You have somebody on here for 86 episodes, and then when you make it, you have the leverage to say, whatever, you can get him out of here. That's what you could do. But you look silly, not even negotiating with that person. It looks like bad business. They've been here super consistent for you. Do
you think 40 owns any percentage of the Drake LLC? Do you think his producer 40 owns any percentage of whatever the business is?
That's different. That's totally different, Mike.
That's totally different. He's not on Drake's records. He gets his fee for making records. He's not on the record. It doesn't say featured 40. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, do you think, that's like saying, does Future get any of Drake's LLC? He was on a song with him. Why would he get any of his business when they did a song together? He got paid for a song. If he was paying him by the podcast and not for his producer fee, that's different. We could just cut ties, bro. We could just cut ties. He wasn't paying him to be on that podcast. He was paying him for the stoop, for the production. And now he was been on the podcast, and now the podcast is profitable, and I'm not a part of that because you have the right to get rid of me, and it is your right. And I'm saying it just looks silly.
And why do I have the right to do that?
Because this is yours.
Do you think no matter
I didn't come at you crazy. I asked a question.
No matter
you couldn't negotiate. You got mad about it. That's not crazy.
No matter what the beef is, do you think Joe's replacing anybody on the podcast?
I think he has. Maul wasn't always there.
And exactly. And what happened when Marissa left and Maul came?
What do you mean?
What happened to the podcast?
They got the Spotify deal?
No, that came much later. But did their listenership boom? I know for a fact it did because I've been listening since episode like 20 something. They got way more listeners when Marissa left and Maul came. Why is that? Because Maul is more valuable. You can get rid of a Marissa when a few people are gonna miss her, but not too many people are gonna miss her.
So the missing key.
He was the missing key to that podcast.
Okay. So does he have more percentage or less? Would you guess he has more percentage or less than Rory? Because I think he has less for sure.
I think he has.
I think it goes Joe Rory.
It does because of what Rory does outside of the podcast. I would argue, and that's a separate point.
It's value to the pod. If he's bringing in listeners and I'm bringing in listeners and I'm doing other stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be valued more, but Maul's at a point. If Maul said, I want this, they would negotiate.
Value to the pod is what you just said. It's about value to the pod, right?
I'm just saying he looks silly. To me, you look silly.
You just keep going back to that instead of just answering my
question.
question.
No, I'm not.
Because
you're trying to pit me on a point I'm not making. You're trying to pit me to a point that I'm not making.
I'm using your words. No, and I'm repeating is your words back to you. You said because it's about value to the pod, right?
And I also told you, I think that they're different. Like I said,
you're asking me about Joe and them.
He wasn't getting paid by the pod.
You're asking me about Joe and them, and I'm refuting this, and you're not liking how I'm refuting it. That's what's happening right now.
No, it's not. It's not. That's not. Okay. It's just not. I'm not upset because you're making a point I don't feel like I could counter. I don't care about that.
You care about being right, though. I'm refuting your points, and you're just not liking it.
All right, bro. I don't come on here to be right. I don't care. It's a discussion. Okay. I said he looks silly. You said he doesn't. And I'm saying it's all because of the weight that you can throw. If I can do bad business and get away with it, a lot of people do that.
And I'm saying it's not bad business. It's not bad business.
How much do you value somebody that's been there 86 times in a row?
He showed him. He didn't.
And that's what I'm saying looks silly. That's what I'm saying looks silly. That's what I'm saying looks silly. Because he's been this consistent and you don't value him at all.
He did value him. He gave him a number.
He paid him for what he was doing for the podcast.
He already paid him for that.
I said he paid him for that. Calm down. I said he paid him for that.
And then when he came,
and then when the podcast got successful, because I've been on the pod 86 times in a row, I come to you with 15%. You tell me get the fuck out of here. It's not hey, let's talk about 5, let's talk about 2. Whatever your number is, it's not that. I don't like that. Get out of here.
But it wasn't like he said no. He said okay.
We can judge the subject. I know what y'all are saying. I agree. It is Gilly's power. He doesn't have as much. He doesn't have as much pull. He doesn't have as much pull in the pod and what he does for the pod. The other two are more valuable. I know that. But that looks like bad business when somebody is that consistent.
What it looks like and what it is are two completely different things.
Mike, it is bad business too.
No, it's not.
If I'm here 86 times in a row and because...
And I've paid you for all of those.
No. You paid me for the production. That's what I'm saying. Well, he was paying him to be on a podcast? You didn't say that. You didn't say that. He was paying him to be on a podcast?
Steph, he was paying him.
For what? You said they were in his studio. He was producing it.
When he told him that, when he said that he didn't get the 15 and he gave him another number...
He said, I'll give you a fee for what you've done for the podcast. That's what I'm saying.
So what do you think that bonus was?
What you've done for the podcast.
Producing the pod. Using your studio.
No. That money was he was already paying him. The money after the 15% was like, no, I'm not giving 15.
So his cousin was getting paid. His cousin was getting paid too.
I don't know, but when he said, I'm not giving you 15, I'm going to give you another lump sum of money. Because you're not getting a cut and you're not moving on. We're cutting ties here, but you're getting broke off this.
That's where we're separate. He said after they got the deal, he said, "Hey, we're not moving on." He was like, "Then let me get 15% of ownership." That's what happened. If that's what happened, I feel y'all 100%. If he told him we're not moving on with you, he was like, "I want 50% for what I've been on."
No,
bro, you haven't. You're not moving forward with us. I can't give you 15%.
No, that's not what I said.
I'm asking. So, like, how I understand what you're saying is, he was getting a producer fee for using their stew, right? For 86 episodes in a row, right?
He was getting paid.
He was getting paid for the stew, right?
He was getting paid for all of that, for being there.
So his cousin was getting paid
in their
too.
House. Yeah, he has to be getting paid.
Do you think that when Gilly was paying him, he was paying him to also be the third mic on the podcast?
No, I don't.
So then why would I start doing it now?
Because none of us were getting paid before. Nobody's getting paid to do this podcast
so
right
now,
now. But if we start making money, if
none of us are getting paid, and I'm paying you
for producer work.
Listen to me. None of us are getting paid. The three of us, we've been doing this podcast, and you're the only one getting money. You're the only one getting, because that's the scenario you're giving me.
Yeah, I'm the only one producing this podcast.
We're all doing the podcast.
But everybody doesn't do what you do right here. Everybody
listen to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about this podcast.
I know, but
I'm not talking about this podcast.
If you said that he was getting paid to produce it, that's not the same as being on my talent.
Listen to me. If we're all doing a podcast and you're the only one making money from the podcast, but no, that's different. They're doing their scenario. They're doing that podcast. Gilly and Wallow, who are the attraction for the podcast, their names are on the bill. They're not making any money, but they're paying their producer a fee. And he happens to show up on the podcast from time to time. He's not getting paid to be on the podcast.
86 times in a row.
100 times in a row. Let me finish. He's getting paid 100 times in a row.
I'm not refuting anything you're saying. That's why I keep cutting you off. I agree with everything you're saying. And this is where we differ. 86 times in a row means something to me. I was producing a podcast, bro. Mike, if we had a separate engineer that wanted to get paid to do this, we would still have to pay him or he wouldn't do it.
You get what you're worth, bro. Do you see the Zion Williamson college stuff? Mm-hmm. I saw like a headline on it. I didn't get to read. What happened with that?
Pretty much they're like, somebody said they got evidence that Zion was taking money and all this other shit. Like to go to Duke, and there was speculation around it. He was supposed to go to like Georgia Tech or something. Yeah. And at the last second he's like, I'm a Dookie, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? So somebody said they got evidence on it, and they pretty much are trying to put the pinch on Zion. Like, pay us this money or we're gonna come out with this, and they pretty much so playing it like, let's talk. Let's get in court. Oh, you got this. That ain't no big a deal. What is this? It's going back and forth. Like, I don't know. To be honest, this is every college athlete to me, so I'm just like, whatever. I just want to see if Zion get hit for a bag and he got to pay him. You know what I'm saying? Because this is every big college player ever. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if I know as a girls AAU coach that it was some funny shit going on around that, then I believe somebody got some. I believe somebody got some receipts on that, and Zion gonna have to pay somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not out of his pocket. It's like, yo. If I was him, I'd be like, fuck Duke. Yo, go burn them, bro. Go burn them, bro. I don't care. I'm in the league now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'd be like Reggie Bush. I'd be like, did you get that bag?
Well,
I got a trophy.
Hopefully this will cut out some of all of that. Players getting caught up taking money, because now they can make money off their likeness. Yeah. So. Yeah.
They still got a ways to go. I mean, speaking of basketball shit, the Jalen Green going to, you see the other the 7-foot Chinese kid?
Yep. He's
skipping college and going and then going to that GOT.
Was he the one from? Hold on. What was his name? Was it Harold U? It's not the kid from Sierra King?
No.
Okay.
No, not him. He better go to college. He a senior?
I don't know.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't think he a senior. That nigga better go to college. But
yo, speaking of high school basketball, San Ysidro about to put on next year, bro. And I think Mikey go get a chance to, Mikey Williams that's out here in San Diego, I think he go get a chance to shut up a lot of critics. Because a lot of people was like, bro, like look who he playing against and this, that, and the third. But next year he's gonna be in the open division.
Which that's legitimate. That is legitimate.
No, I agree.
Yeah, he could shut up some people that think like, oh, he ain't worth the hype, but it's fair. That's fair to ask.
Like I tell people, I watched almost every game he played last year. And he did what he did against pretty much everybody he played against, whether it was Rancho Christian or any trash team. He did that. But like I was saying, he go be on like more of a national platform next year, playing in some national tournaments. You know what I'm saying? One of which will be here in San Diego. I can't wait for that. But it's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, but I think what y'all think about the NBA system? Pretty much, they built the system to pull up kids from college. Like, if you don't want to go to college, you could come in this league, and it's for top like recruit type guys. You know what I'm saying?
Top
like,
tier.
Yeah, like future phenom type of guys. You know what I'm saying? But
well, they said Adam Silver has felt the way for a while that like our players that didn't want to go to college have had to go over there. They haven't been like a legitimate, like either like farm system or legitimate pro league here in America that they can go to if they don't want to go to college.
Oh yeah, I've heard Adam Silver say it's embarrassing that players have to go overseas because they don't want to go to college. Well, there should be a system here to where our American-born players could stay here and still get to the NBA.
Like, bro, like look at Luka. We've been playing pro since he was like 15.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it shows.
Yeah.
It shows.
He's nasty.
Like think if like players like Jalen Green and Josh Christopher could have went pro at 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was definitely bigger bodies and more athletic than Luka was at the time.
Yeah. But at the same time, being a pro, part of Luka's like, he knows how to maneuver as a pro. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily he just knows how to handle American media and all of that other stuff, but he's used to cameras. He's used to moving around grown men.
Yeah.
He's used to dealing with his agent and you know, the coming and going of being a pro.
I was about to say, he's also another kid that kind of seems like he just got that kind of like that kind of like euphoria around. Like, people just kind of want to be around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems like one of those kids, like kind of like a Chris Brown type of dude. Like, he can kind of do everything. He just kind of attracts people to him.
Nonchalant.
He's just cool all the time, just easily. He seems like one of them type of people.
But I'm excited to see what this league could be like for like Jalen Green and all those kids. Because to be honest, like,
and they have the option to go to college if they want to.
Like, yeah, and they're giving them a bag to go to college. 500,000 too. It ain't bad for a kid that was just playing for free neither. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to a kid on YouTube, the dude that was dunking and went to Georgetown. He was talking about when he was in high school, like one of his first like big like tournament games. He said they made $2 million in one day at the gym. Concessions, tickets, all that made $2 million. Like, they're making that much of a bag playing out high school sports and I'm playing for the love. Like, and I agree there should be a time where kids are playing for the love, but when you get to that level and there's that much business around you, damn all that. This kid has to be looped into the business that they're driving. You know what I'm saying?
I think that has a lot to do with your family and how involved they are. Because I feel like as a kid, like you have to be more concerned about business earlier than ever before these days.
Yeah.
But you should have some adults in place to kind of head that up for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know if I got a big name, if I'm a national player, I'm selling T-shirts at the game. Like, I'm getting baller bands printed up. Like,
But then that messes with your eligibility.
How so?
Because you're not an amateur anymore. You're accepting money.
What if my parents are over there selling it though?
Is it your church? Is it you? Your likeness? That's what I'm saying. Is it a phrase you coined or whatever it is? That's how they was pinching. That's how they was pinching them, bro.
So say I wore number 16 in football.
Can't make no money off your likeness.
It's that my pop's over there selling M16 T-shirts, and it's like me, like a runner, but my silhouette kind of like shaped like a gun. Like, come on, bro.
That's
and
how
say,
they
okay, and like LeVar Ball just did it, didn't he?
Yeah, LaMelo was gonna have trouble getting into school. Remember all that controversy? Was he gonna be allowed to go to college and all of that other stuff?
I'm talking about when you were in high school. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just think that's what
they're like. Yeah, you could do it. We can't stop you, but we not letting you in here.
I wish I had his sweaters. One of the parents for San Ysidro, one of the dads, he has a brand called Hoopsters. He just gave me some merch to rock when I'm like moving around in the gyms and stuff. And he's had that before his son was in high school. Say his son like blow up, and his son has been cool with Mikey. And say his dad makes some Hoopster stuff that got an MW1 on it. I've been had this brand. I've been had this brand. And I slap an MW1 on it now, and I'm selling these now. and now you gonna come after me when I've been selling clothes?
If this family's making money off of his likeness, because that was the whole thing. It was like y'all could pitch T-shirts, and then when Big Baller Brand got big, and LaMelo was like, remember at one point they was like Lonzo in the league, but LaMelo's the most fun. He the face of the brand.
That's so not fun though. Bro. Not fair though, bro.
It's not. I mean, look, man, what's going on now? The NCAA is going to have to totally change.
The only reason I can't do this is because I play sports. That's the only reason. Mm-hmm. Anybody else on campus could do this.
Yep. Yep. Like most kids, like most social media platforms come from a kid in college making the platform in the hit. You know what I'm saying? That's his intellectual property. But I can't use my likeness. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. It's crazy.
Like imagine all these kids, like all of these pretty girls on Instagram, pretty or not, all of these girls showing their body on Instagram, getting all these Fashion Nova deals, all of these lipstick deals, hashtag ad on every post. If I'm in high school and I got 1.9 million followers, you tell me I can't get some money on Instagram?
You have to figure out a way to get around the rules.
That's whack.
You got to find a way to get around the rules, man.
That's whack.
And they ain't pinging nobody like, I'm gonna keep it a bean. If there's a girl in college, there's girls putting themselves through college that probably play sports that got OnlyFans. But, and look, they gotta hit a certain number for the NCAA start coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Before they start hitting you over the head, they ain't about to hit you because you made $100 off the joint. You know what I'm saying? But the NCAA ain't right. Hopefully they start to get them on the right track. But I'm over it. I want the NBA just to have a full ass league of dudes that's trying to get to the NBA. I would watch that. You could tweak the rules a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like really
make
get
the paint wider like Euro League.
You could really do some things to make that a really attractive thing. You know what I'm saying? Like people watch football no matter what level it is, bro. You think people wouldn't watch the guys that are supposed to be the next best try to make it?
That are getting drafted next year.
That are trying to make it early. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? People would watch those games. They would be like, I think they'd be like summer league games. Like, people go watch the Summer League. People travel from all over the place to go watch the Summer League. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Vegas is hot because of the Summer League.
Yeah. Yeah, word up.
Vegas is hot now.
That was another person that I saw on the news. The mayor of Vegas. What's up, man? They're going down. We gotta get this shit.
Wow.
We gotta get the shit.
She was tripping, though. She was saying that when it was still prime time.
Mm-hmm. But I was, so... I got some in-laws that used to live in Vegas. I got some in-laws that used to live in Vegas, and they still know some people out there. They said it's scary driving down
Ghost Town.
They said it's a ghost town, bro. Driving down the strip. They said all of the hotel lights are out. All the like casinos, everything's closed.
I seen the picture. It looked different,
bro. Yeah, it was like it looked crazy.
And you know, I love going to Vegas, so. I go like a couple times a year, my football tournaments and all kinds of stuff.
Isaac, how many times a year you go to Vegas? This is a good topic. Answer this question. Yeah, we got some shit to talk about.
I probably go at least it was like 4 or 5 times a year. Mm-hmm. 2 of them was for football. Yeah. And then I try to go 2 with my wife, and then one with the homies.
Yeah, it was family or home. Yeah, I feel you. That's what Isaac was saying because look. Maybe I should. Nah. I might get back on. So Isaac was at the house and like he had called Stephanie and then Stephanie had called him and it was like, oh, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. He's about to leave, go down there. They have some stuff planned or whatever. And me and bro was like, yo, y'all the fancy friends, bro. Like, and he was like, what you mean we the fancy? He's like, no, we're not. I was like, Isaac.
Yes, he is.
That's what I said. I was like, yes, you guys are the fancy friends, homie. I was like, bro, you guys took us on a speakeasy tour downtown. We rode scooters all over town with the different speakeasies. It got faded. Speakeasy. I was like, y'all find the ill shit, and then y'all put us on. Like, y'all the fancy friends. And he was like, I'm not fancy. He's like, Jesse go to Vegas 5 times a year. And he was like, and I was like, that is not what makes you fancy.
No, bro. Isaac goes on ski resort trips. Come on. That's why I was like,
come on, bro. Which led to the conversation, and that we actually never got to because Isaac had to leave. Of what is everybody's couple? Because like, if Isaac and they were the fancy friends, me and Bird said we're the fun couple. Like people like, oh, we're gonna go get messed up. We're gonna go to the bar. Like call Bird and Steph. They'll go. The
show getting
so it was like, and we
wasted.
stopped there because Isaac had to leave. We're like, what would everybody's category be?
I think me and Keisha should just be the boring couple.
See, I don't know.
Ours would be many times be the athletic couple.
I mean, I be trying to organize the get-togethers and
Because
stuff.
Isaac was saying
stay
y'all
at
the
events.
Isaac said y'all the fancy friends. He said y'all the fancy friends.
I kind of feel him, but nah, Isaac, because you be on the low, y'all mess around and be in a different state.
He said I went to LA with Jesse's family, couldn't even get in the place with the shit I had on.
See,
I had
that's
to run. I had
Jesse's
to run
family, that's different.
And see,
my
that-
family's
and
fancy.
that's what Burr said.
Not me and
That's
my
what
wife.
Burr said.
though.
She was like, I don't know. She's like, I feel like Jesse and Turner kind of like, this is not Burr. I was like, I feel like they're kind of like, me and Burr. Like, they're down for whatever, but I was like, they do shit just them two. They're not like gonna put niggas on. They're like, oh, we got our things we do. If y'all want to come and do this when we all get together, we'll do it. I was like, Isaac, y'all find some ill shit, then you'll come back and be like, my man,
Let me put you on to this ill stuff.
Look, bro, don't eat your steak like that. Hey, bro, come to this place. Whoa. Don't wear that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I am trying to tell y'all every place I've been to. But nah, I don't really go places. I go places when y'all go places, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when my family moves, then I'll move. Y'all move, then I'll move. Other than that, I don't really like moving like that. I don't trust people.
yeah, I said, like,
So,
the stuff
I like
me,
moving in
because the stuff me and Bird do, that's why Isaac was like, why are y'all a Funko? Because he was like, you guys are not fancy, like, you guys aren't the fancy friends because you guys choose not to go out and do, like, that type of shit. I was like, Isaac was saying this to me and Bird. And I was like, bro, well, because we don't
Y'all
think...
are the shopping couple, to be honest. Y'all niggas always going out shopping somewhere. Niggas always got new shoes, new bags, new accessories, new clothes.
No.
What?
That's
Look at
facts.
my nigga's jacket.
Bro,
That's facts.
Come on, G.
years old. But see, me and Bro was like, we're the fuck up because we just like to go and get drunk. Because
we
we
talked about step. What you been? His brother said I can. I'm excited for the next couple of days. I got stuff coming in every day of the week.
my
He said,
household has
"Babe,
stuff coming in.
That's you, fam.
Yeah, Bird bought a bed frame and some other shit. That ain't
All I
got
got
to
is baby stuff coming through.
Oh yeah, you gotta
We
get
the
into
family,
that.
family.
Yeah, no, that's what y'all are. Y'all the family, family.
Like over here, like,
Y'all the family couple.
the life goals.
How is that, bro? How is that?
It's
Life
lovely.
with
Little
two.
Max.
It's good, man. It's good. I like it. At first, like, it was weird. Like, I was feeling like how I felt when we first had Baron. Like, I was like the handoffs and like holding them was like, man, I feel like I'm about to break something. But now I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Super good now.
Yeah, man, I don't like holding small children for that same thing. The same mom.
And I made sure, and see, I messed up. Like, I messed up. I messed up when Baron was born. You know, y'all know me being sleepy. I was just like sleep, like when he was up crying and stuff. So Keish did a lot of that by herself, and that's part of the reason when we got him home why he didn't really mess with me, because he was like, I've been bonded with her in the hospital for a whole week. Like, I don't even really know who you are, bro. So I made sure like as much as I could be around him and in his face, I was. And so I don't have that problem at all. This go around.
Okay.
But like so like when Keish, like after Keish had him, they put Max on her chest. Like, 'cause that's like what they do for like the skin to skin and the heartbeat and everything. And then they took him to the Lil Wayne thing to like clean him off and everything. And then she didn't see him again until like the next day, really.
Wow.
Yeah. 'Cause it was so like, 'cause that time was a little rough for her. And so like, not even just 'cause of that, it was just like a little rough for her. Like she went like, they were supposed to wheel her over to the NICU to see Max and then take her to her room. But it was only one nurse pushing her bed, and she was like, I had to help her with the bed. Like she was like, I'm not about to do all of that. We taking her straight to the room. So I feel like,
Look.
she didn't say that, but they told me later that she was supposed to take her to see the baby first. And I could tell, like she could barely.
That's the only reason she was good. Yeah.
Come on, she could barely control that thing. So I was like, I feel it. I feel
correct.
it. But yeah, I went with Keish. Like, I think I left like after they took him to the NICU. I stayed in there with Keish, make sure she was good, make sure like all her blood levels and everything was good, make sure nothing was finna go crazy. And I was over there with Max for a long time, and then she had to call me back like, "Hey yo, you gotta come grab the bags. Like they moving me to the other room." I was like, "Oh yeah." I went over there, moved the bags, ate, chilled with her for another like 30, and I went back in there with the baby.
Man, life with two.
Tell me about it.
Y'all
Ready to get back to normal, man. I ain't had sex since December.
I don't mean to laugh. I didn't know you was going.
I didn't either. No,
Ready to get back to normal.
Hey, honestly though, that kind of scared scares me. I don't know how that's gonna be an issue. I'm gonna be walking around here like King Kong for real.
And see.
So look, we ain't got no kids, man. Oh, look, Darius gone. Look, bro.
Bro, it wasn't this long of a gap when we had Baron. But even still, I was like, yo, it's been a minute. And I'm thinking like, oh, the baby's out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Doctor's like, nah, like she needs time like to heal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get all graphic and all of that, but like it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Everything gotta get back to normal down there. And so like I know that for this time, but still it's like, man, December?
That's a topic for off mic. I was going to say, man. So, like, yeah, let's move on. That's not got a question, but nah, I don't
ask all the questions you want, bro. I ain't tripping. What you want to know, man?
Same life.
So what you do?
What you think I do?
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, like, does that bring along issues?
Oh my god!
I mean, does that bring
so
along
what
issues?
you
So
do?
like, yo, I gotta go. You know what I mean?
So what you do? No, I don't say no. I gotta go. Yeah, I mean. You just find the time to yeah, me. I gotta go. Yeah, me. Who is this dude? What are you talking about in here, bro?
Y'all mean.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. We should have paused. I'm motherfucking sweating, bro. That shit was funny.
This dude says, so what do you do?
Right. Lordy. He says, yo, so you done about to go young. I'm gonna see you in about 25 minutes.
You good? Need anything? I'll be busy. You seen the laptop?
You got your charger cord.
I'm out.
What's your battery?
Cause I need
Oh man.
Oh man, I need that charger.
That was funny. So what do you do? That's the name of this podcast.
So what
I'm saving that in the notes. So what do you do?
That's why I said I didn't know where we was going, how much we talking about all that.
Like I said, man, it's the family room. You can ask me whatever you want.
December, that's rough. Okay, let me ask you. Outside of pregnancy or anything, what's the longest time y'all having? Y'all mean?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good question.
Like since you've been married,
right?
I mean, we was dating. We moved in. So like,
let me see. So this is December month 5. So this is 6 months. Probably outside of this, the longest.
Outside of a pregnancy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Probably 2 months or so.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. Cause I think for me and Bird it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No. She was gone in Greece for a month, so that was the longest, a month. She was gone in Greece for a month. I'm telling you. Look.
So what'd you do?
What?
Exactly.
WhatsApp. That's what I did. WhatsApp. Popping.
Oh my god.
I was going to ask some more graphic questions, but this is a family show.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, he said that's a long time. I'm kind of embarrassed now, but yeah, probably about a month and a half, 2 months maybe.
Nah, what you mean? That's y'all.
I mean, outside of her being gone like that, because obviously with her being gone.
Yeah, with y'all like coming back to the same crib every night.
Every night, nigga. No, I give you 10 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 2 weeks.
Nigga.
Maybe 2 weeks. Like, look,
Cause I call y'all me
that's-
so many times.
Y'all niggas.
Maybe the name of the episode need to be y'all me.
Oh man.
Man, I'm about to ask what I was going to ask so y'all know what I'm just trying to say.
Man, they got my glasses
Y'all
falling
niggas ain't never been in a doghouse?
No.
Not
Not that long?
yeah, not that
No.
long. And no, and I was gonna say like for us
I mean, and I
it's
may be
weird, bro.
mistaken. Like, you know,
It's
cause
weird,
my
'cause the
time
dog-
might know more.
The doghouse
professional
don't
than
really
me.
stop. Like at about 7-8 days, the doghouse gonna go away because we're gonna be like, fam,
Yeah, but
look,
I hate
look, I can't be mad this long.
I hate being like that, but y'all ain't got a kid, but like y'all don't. It's different when you got
No,
kids.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe it. Things like that last a lot longer.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But
'Cause
see,
I've
but
been
one
in
of
a
the
house
things
with
that
children.
we'd always talked about, because I saw that happen to my mom and dad, and it ruined them. So I I refuse. Like, there's no point, because if we go on a certain amount of days, then what are we even still doing here? Like, my nigga, what are you just gonna keep passing me by in this one Betty?
Yeah.
Nigga, we brushing elbows and still not talking and you touching
Yeah,
me.
we walking past
We
each other in
rubbing,
the kitchen
we
and shit.
laying down in the bed, because at some point we gotta be having a normal time together at some point. You feel me? Our relationship has to.
time during the day. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not texting, no good morning, no good night, no nothing. Then yeah, what's going on? How mad is you right now?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
I had a question I wanted to ask y'all. It's on a much different
I'm
topic.
so mad I missed that with the camera.
So,
They got my head hurt a little bit.
so back in the day, when it wasn't really no texting, you just had to call the girl you like, right? It was only over the phone. You had to run it. You had to run that. Had to have that talk box. You had to be good with it.
Or the T9 had to be proficient.
Before texting.
T9?
Before texting, when I had middle school days, when I had to be on the phone.
I ain't gonna lie, I probably wasn't even into girls. I still wasn't.
We all had that. You had a girlfriend in middle school. We all had that time when, you know what I'm saying, you broke out the phone. Or I'm saying, you turn on the radio, you turn on your little mixtape, and you let your music do the talking for you.
I was
Oh,
the king.
Lord.
I was the king. Of
What
that.
was your go-to song?
I don't know. See, it depended on
I
the
only
girl.
did it once.
Oh no, I did it all the time.
It depended on the girl though. See, because what I would do is I would see that's part of my game.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness gracious.
Yes, this is on the list. Depending on
Oh,
the
you're
girl.
talking about like that. See, I was talking about
You talking about like talking to him, what's playing in the background?
Nah, but that's what I was about to say. You had to give it to him like that. You had to just play it in the background, real low. Be like, yeah, I wanna. You busy?
Oh, I'm just listening to some music right now.
Yeah, I want to play something for you real quick.
bro's doing the interlude to the song.
Just listen. Just listen.
Do you even see it right now? This is my part. This is my part right here.
Are you listening? Oh, okay.
How did that make you feel? Hey, nah, the times when you had it on your record on your voicemail.
And she'd be like, hold on, so
Who you?
I never said I loved you though. Be like, oh.
He never said that.
I was gonna say there's different scenarios because there's times I don't know how many times I had to be pretty like serious with girl, be playing music in the background, trying to send a message if I'm talking to her on the phone. But I was definitely the king of, oh, let me like burn you a CD or go listen to
What's
this
your
song.
song I got you right now? What's your go-to?
Throw it. Definitely the song by Usher, man. Definitely something by Usher, man. Shit, that Genuine song was one though too. Oh. Oh my god.
I
I
think
think
this was Stefan hit him with.
you playing my greatest hits right now. Playing my greatest hits right now, man.
How'd you give it to her, Stefan? Here.
But that's what I'm saying. I would give her a CD with this on it so she'd listen on her own time. So
I got you.
like I would give her a CD or a list of songs for her to look up so she knows what kind of time I'm on when I'm talking to her. I don't necessarily play it when we're talking, but she already knows like, okay. Usher will grab him for you. Good luck. Good look, Ursh.
Ursh. This was the boys.
Let me
No.
Let me hear the game. Let me hear your game, Jesse. Let me hear your game, Jesse.
I got you. Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Little deep dive into the Mackin.
You know you gotta come with a slow and deep, you know. So you know, you've been coming through my mind all day like this. Hey man, I ain't had to do this in a long time.
Just talk about game.
Nah, I'm gonna stop playing with y'all.
Sometimes people hitting up that Instagram.
That's right.
Like,
I ain't got time for my DMs be blowing up. What did DJ Kelly? No, I got a family. He said, "Oh, hey, on everything I swear, bro, fingers were like these."
You see how long it took him to turn it off though? He was like, no, I got a family.
Looking over his back.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
He brought some girl
goodness.
on his live and she started twerking. They didn't doing the quarantine thing. He brought a girl on his live and she started
I know what y'all
twerking.
talking about. Okay, I thought something else.
She was like, "Hold on, I gotta go get the milk."
Yeah, she was twerking, pouring milk on her booty.
She thought it was on Tory Lane's live. That's what she thought. Tory Lane's live.
She knew what she was doing.
Oh, let's talk about that Last Dance, bro. You already said y'all didn't see the last. You haven't seen none of it. You said.
Yeah, I gotta watch 9 and 10, but I've enjoyed it so far. It's a dope look. It's a dope look into some information you probably knew, but the backstory. And what I'm finding out for a lot of people that didn't know some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just to see like the years and like take you back, and it's like, dang, bro, that really happened then. Has been dope. But let's be clear. This is the Michael Jordan propaganda show. Like a doc usually says like with your highs and lows. They're talking about, yo, man, like, oh, the media did this to his like maybe they shouldn't have done it. But we're looking for your highs and lows. This is like Michael Jordan's like, I don't fuck with Isaiah Thomas. I don't fuck with the media. And I'm better than anybody's ever done this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It's your doc. You got control. You're supposed to look like that. But, like, you can't be terrorizing your teammates, bullying your teammates, and then complain that a team was bullying you. And get praised for it.
How do you feel about the way Scotty was portrayed?
If I'm Scotty, I'm never picking up the Michael Jordan flag again. Son gotta see me. Son gotta see me. And Michael Jordan, another thing from this doc, Michael Jordan better not bump into Horace Grant.
Yeah, Horace Grant beat that nigga. I don't think
Horace Grant gonna handle homie.
I don't think the doc did anything to Scotty that he didn't like do regularly.
But that's your man, and to do him like
to tell the truth about it.
No, to highlight those points. This is your doc. Why are we highlighting one of my low points? You wasn't even on the team now. Why are we even talking about this on your doc? Like, fam.
But it's called The Last Dance.
Yeah,
I feel you, and everything else is about Michael Jordan during.
I think Scotty signed off on that.
They talked about
Scotty did sign off on that.
No, they no. I've been hearing reports that he's tight, that he doesn't like the way he was portrayed.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. But no, they talked about Steve Kerr and how his dad was. You know what I'm saying? Everything with his dad. They talked about Tony Kukoc. They talked about Dennis Rodman. They talked about Phil Jackson. They talked about the key players, the key people.
I feel you, bro. I just like, well, one, I'm a little bit cloudy.
I feel like that's
Scotty stepped out of that wasn't the final season when Scotty stepped out of a game, because Mike was there the full last season. He wasn't gone and then came back during that last season, right?
He came back.
He came back between the three pieces, is what I'm saying.
He came back like 10 days before the playoffs, bro. That second year that he sat out, he came back like 10 days before the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, he took it. He won 3. He took his break. He came back and won 3. He came back in that first season. Then they won 2 more, right?
What first season? I'm sorry.
Like the first season from his break, baseball.
No, he won 3. If I'm not mistaken, won 3. Sat out a full season. Sat out the majority of the second season. And came back 10 days before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and and then that was the second chip. And then the next season was the Last Dance, the one that the doctors.
No, he didn't. They didn't win a ring that first year. He came back.
Oh yeah, see, okay.
And that's and that's another thing. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's part of the Jordan legacy they don't talk about. They go, oh yeah, he just that and third. And it's like, yeah, I feel you. He just came back 10 days ago, but acknowledge it though.
Yeah,
But acknowledge it though. You acknowledge all of LeBron and Kobe's shortcomings.
Yeah. And me and Rob was talking about this. This is just an overall Michael Jordan conversation. Like, homie didn't play 6 years in the league.
No.
It was a time before that, and there was a time after that. Michael Jordan probably want to forget, and we don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We talk about when Kobe was chucking up air balls. We don't say, yo, man, they won 5 out of 7 and act like that was all his career. We don't talk about the 3 Braun won in Miami and just don't talk about the before and after. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michael Jordan gets the benefit of everybody love this nigga, man. Like, everybody loves this nigga, or they love the mystique about Jordan, or they like...
He's everybody's hero.
You know what I'm saying? It's like even in the media wasn't even, like, reporting how they was doing, reporting how they was doing on these other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, does Michael Jordan ever get to Michael Jordan level? This is what I've been asking myself through like the whole doc. Does Michael Jordan ever get to Michael Jordan level if all of this stuff is like coming out how it is about LeBron and them? Because look where LeBron at, and he done went through the social media. Look where Kobe got to, and he had some real ass shit happen to him and had to come back from it. I don't know if Michael Jordan come back from beating shit out of his teammates, terrorizing, calling people out their name, spitting on food so other people win.
As long as you win.
I don't know, because LeBron
Kobe had a rape case, bro. God rest his soul. Yeah. We all know he didn't do it, but Kobe had a rape case.
But LeBron,
and as long as you get back to winning, just like same thing with Tiger Woods.
But ever reach Michael Jordan level, I don't think that you do.
You're saying with all the hits he would have had a long time
ago. Look at where LeBron is, and look how much flack they still talk about him.
I mean, maybe they buried some of it. There's people that still, even with the doc, there's people that say that no, he left because of the gambling. David Stern suspended him and this, that, and that.
It ain't just you. Come on, bro. You was bored.
And he was hungover. I don't care what niggas say. That was not the flu.
Like I told y'all, I know a dude that was working. I worked with a dude that was working in journalism at the time. He was not sick, bro, and everybody there knows it. I mean, he was. That's not just a flu, bro. Yeah. Everybody knows what time it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put it like this. This is something simple. I don't think LeBron could ever come out that, like, early in LeBron's career, homie smoked 6 cigars a day. People be like, what? LeBron not trying to win. He's not focused on only basketball. They say that when he go to the Sun game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you get to Michael Jordan level without everything around Michael Jordan. Like, hey man, he holding the game up. Like,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta hold him down.
Well, that's true.
Like, and to
he wouldn't have been able, this social media era. Yeah. He wouldn't have been able to get that high.
Yeah, and to me, it's all the mystique.
I think he would have only.
I think LeBron better than Son.
I think he would have only because he was the first of that.
Yeah. Oh, and he's got that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're the first of anything. You know. Yeah.
Just like that's like an argument. Who was I talking to? I think it was somebody on Twitter. They were talking about like who would you rather be? Oh, somebody. I was gonna argue that point with Gunnett. I think I have argued that point with Gunnett before.
You don't have to do that again with him.
He'll say something about Jay-Z, and then he'll talk about all the number ones and all the record sales that 50 Cent has. And I'm like, okay, bro, but we're talking about like how people feel about Jay-Z on top of all of his accolades. Yeah. So okay, John Stockton has more stats than Allen Iverson, but who would you rather be?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
John Stockton got more stats than Allen Iverson, but we love Allen Iverson, not just because he's black. Like he made us feel something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, we love Allen Iverson.
You know what I'm saying? And John Stockton was dope. When you watch John Stockton, he was dope. Just like 50 Cent is a dope rapper, but it's a different.
John Stockton was really good. Allen Iverson's iconic, family. Exactly. It was more than basketball. It was fashion. It was what he went through. I relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit. Like no, most definitely. Like
besides when he threw his girl out the house naked.
Big facts. Crazy. And just like I do for countless other black folks in mixed company, I don't bring up those things.
Facts.
I don't bring up those things. I don't care. Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer I've ever seen.
But
I don't care what you think about him as a man.
to get back to the Last Dance, I think Scotty's a real weenie, bro. I think Scotty's a real weenie.
You don't think he got portrayed as a weenie? Like, then it could be just a couple low moments.
Like I said, when there's a pattern.
Yeah, I feel
when there's a pattern, like
he just
like you start off the doc. You can be little bro. You can get Hayes on the team, but ain't no grown man finna grab me by my shirt and me swing me all around and slap me in the face.
I mean,
like that.
How you feel about all of them? Michael Jordan running around spitting on food so people don't eat it and doing all that.
And there was more to that story. There was like, I mean, granted, it's petty and I'm not having it either. But
you're not telling nobody not to give me food on this plane. You're not doing none of that.
None of that.
People getting hurt around here for less than that.
And see, and I have
Shannon
more.
Sharp said, your lady, your food, and your money. Don't in our culture, them three, they're off limits. Bro.
I have more disrespect for the people that actually didn't give him the food. Like
Nah, see, I feel a way. I feel a way. That's just like when we was talking about like Michael Jackson's doctor. How he gonna tell him no? It's Mike right here. This a stewardess, dog. This a stewardess, dog.
The stewardess and the doctor are different.
Stewardess don't own this plane. Nigga.
Yeah,
I'm here to serve everybody.
No,
the doctor, he shouldn't have done that.
I'm Michael Jordan. I might not own this plane, but I might run what's going on in here during this flight.
The stewardess,
he was socking his teammates. And
the stewardess should listen to Michael Jordan. A doctor shouldn't listen to Michael Jackson.
They shouldn't. But that's where the power dynamic comes into me. It's like that stewardess is not looking at this like every other person that buys a ticket on a plane. No. Everybody else that's on the team plane.
Like I said, man.
He might have power to get rid of my job.
But that doctor should have been looking at him as a patient.
Like I said, Scotty looked like a weenie. He let Charles Oakley grab him on, hem him up by the shirt and slap him in the face. He didn't go in the game because the play wasn't drawn up for him. He sat out in the middle, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the last season the team is all together. I feel you, like, shoot your shot, try to get your money, but it's like, all right, bro, like.
Oh, I don't blame him for that.
You signed a contract.
I don't blame him for that. Fam.
Like,
I don't blame him for that. Players got to use whatever leverage they got, and the ultimate leverage they have is being on the court. Like, I'm not gonna get paid. I'm not gonna get paid no other way. I feel a way about MJ. Come on, fam. Go get, man. Come on, man. I'm not telling you go tell him how much I want to get paid, but if you go tell him like, yo, Scotty's important, we need to take care of Scotty. It'll get done. It'll get done. You know what I'm saying? Come on, fam. I gotta sit out do all this fuck shit. You just sitting over here living good. Come on, dog. You know the contract I was just, so I did you a favor.
Michael Jordan that final year was eating up 54% of the salary cap, bro. 54%.
It's a savage, bro.
That's crazy.
Like Ross said, Clyde Drexler, dog. He's going to guard Michael Jordan, dog. Clyde Drexler, for real? All right, bro. He said Jordan going to have whatever he want. So I ain't saying Jordan ain't good. I'm saying Clyde Drexler shouldn't be holding you for okay. Like, I feel like I said, I'm excited to see the last two, see how it finish up. You know what I'm saying? But I've enjoyed it for what it is. I've enjoyed it for what that's been my take on it so far. Like at the first two, I was hyped. First four, I was hyped, and then 5 and 6, I was like, okay. Like it started making me feel away. And then the last two, I was like, all right, yeah, that's how I feel. Like I feel you, MJ. You gotta big yourself up and all that, but damn, bro, you gotta make everybody else look small, nigga. Like damn. Like, Levi's that alone, nigga, like, damn.
And I don't think enough was spoken about his arrogance. Yeah, they talk about, like, at the end of the season, he wrote that poem, and we never saw that side of him. When he cried and he won the trophy, it's like, those things are cool, but, like, that nigga's mad arrogant, bro. And he's, like, playing, when he's in the headphones, they're like, who is that? And I forget who it is, but say if it's, like, the new Michael Jackson that ain't came out yet. He's like, MJ, who is that? He's like, huh? Who is that? Oh, it's the new Michael Jackson. Hadn't even come out yet. But he's a friend of mine, so, you know. And they just keep on writing. It's like, all of that type of stuff is like, I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Like, we know who you are here, bro.
I don't like it.
Just say this to Michael Jackson. It's that new Mike. Yeah. Keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Although I did hear a story that I think Nick Young told it. He said the day before the trade deadline, Kobe walked in the locker room. Jeremy Lin said Kobe walked in the locker room and was like, I just want to come say bye to some of you bums that are getting traded tomorrow.
And he didn't even come in his head like that. They had to ask him what he was doing there.
Oh, see, that's different.
He said, Kobe, what you doing?
He said he was... He said
y'all about to be out tomorrow.
Yeah, Jeremy Lin said he was sitting there talking to somebody else, and he was just excited to, like, because he wasn't there for a couple of days. He was hurt. Just walked up in the facility with his jogging suit on. He said, "Hey man, what you doing here?" "Oh shit, just come to say bye to y'all niggas. Y'all niggas getting traded." Some of y'all not gonna be. Jeremy Lin said some of the players was like, "Man, they weren't thinking about it though."
Yeah. He said he came there and said that. Everybody started looking around like,
yeah.
I love some
niggas wasn't trying to go to practice no more.
Yeah, I love some of the bars Kobe just get to drop. Like when he was on, I think it was All the Smoke, and they asked him like when MJ was like, well, MJ said to Kobe like, "Well, I would have killed you," and Kobe looked at MJ and was like, "Just remember who you talking to." Like, can't nobody else on the planet can say that to MJ.
No, LeBron.
No,
LeBron can say that.
No, he can't.
say that.
No, he can't.
He can say that
because they never played against each other.
Yeah,
they didn't. But he's like, "You really think I couldn't guard you at all? You think you gonna dog me?"
That's true.
You think you gonna dog me? Okay, cool. You feel like you're gonna dog me?
What are you gonna do when I get the ball?
He's not gonna
Watch
get
who you're
those
talking
balls.
to. What?
He's just gonna score all the points.
Oh, you're bugged.
And see, and
That's
that's
wrong. You stop
You
your
know,
butt.
level know that nigga.
LeBron.
That nigga
That's another
MJ has
thing.
too many head fakes for
I can't talk
Braun.
to this about
And that's another thing we gonna have when I start this debate show.
Gonna head fake and gonna get to the free
That's
throw.
gonna be one of my first debate topics. How all of these old heads got to play against plumbers and politicians and set all of these records. Meanwhile, you got LeBron out here with thoroughbreds. Like these niggas out here playing against the garbage man.
Like I said, man, like I was saying earlier, like Dominique Wilkins or T-Mac.
Yeah.
I take T-Mac, fam.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Westbrook would have been killing in Jordan Day. Eating up John Stockton. John Stockton could hold whoever he want. He can not hold Westbrook. I don't care. Pistol Pete, come on, come get this. Bob Cousy, come on. Y'all.
that's what I'm saying. His numbers in that league would have been crazy.
And remember, Russ used to have the midi. So it ain't like he had to get all the way to the basket and get hit by Patrick Ewing and all them every time. He used to take the midi until they
And
took
he
the midi
elevate.
range out
Then
the
niggas
game.
will look at him elevate on that midi and be like,
6'3", these cats were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. It's different era. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on that era. I respect Jordan. Like, I would say that he has the best argument for the GOAT. You can't get greater than Michael Jordan. But there are people that I feel have been better because I feel like what they've had to do has been harder. It's not hard when
the paint play back then was totally different though.
And Jordan could have been sore one night, and it's a tough matchup.
We can't act like the
LeBron
paint
and Kobe
play.
gotta take that.
The paint play nowadays is totally different. And a lot of these niggas like the Browns and these niggas are getting a lot of their points in the paint and ain't no contest at the rim, fam. That's a knock.
Family.
That's a knock. This nigga's gonna get at least 15,000 points of uncontested bucks.
Bro.
Of uncontested.
It's not, no.
And that's a slight.
How many times have you seen LeBron go up keep it a buck, fam. How many times have you seen LeBron go up uncontested, dog? That don't happen.
How many times have you seen? How many times have you seen somebody slide out of the way of the basket because they see this nigga at the 3-point line coming?
Not as many. Every shot he takes is contested, fam. He's the best player in the world, fam.
In the paint.
Thank you.
When he beats somebody, yes, all players beat people and get dunks. You guys are telling me that LeBron shoots more uncontested shots than he does contested?
No, I didn't say that.
Like,
nobody said that.
But that's what I'm saying. You're saying like he's going to the 15,000 points with the uncontested.
Over his career?
Yeah, over his career, bro. I'm saying
that's a lot of uncontested bucks.
Bro.
And
Everybody has
I said
uncontested
paint
buckets,
play.
man. Everybody has uncontested buckets, and that's what I'm addressing, bro.
No,
you think LeBron's
not like
going
that.
to the
not,
lane?
Not like how it was in generations before, and that's what I'm talking about.
And I'm saying
that's what I'm talking
generations
about.
before,
it is tougher out at the 3-point line in the mid post range, but once you get below that block or you turn that corner on that nigga, there's no secondary help nowadays.
Look, bro,
you turn
Michael
that corner.
Jordan had to get in the weight room to deal with what the Pistons was doing. Do you think Isaiah Thomas and them dudes want to play that game? You think Dennis Rodman at the time, as skinny as he was, want to play that game with LeBron James, fam? He jumped over a nigga, bruh. He go up contact all the time.
He jumped over him.
He jumped over Jason Terry, bro. He's put countless niggas on posters, bruh.
Who did?
LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
He's put countless.
Jordan would jump over Jason Terry too.
Yeah.
And where was Jason Terry staring?
I was in my phone. What's the argument right now?
Bro, I'm saying, back in the day.
I'm just saying paint play was harder back in the day versus now. When niggas are turning the corner nowadays, they're not seeing a second, and third level at the rim.
But
when we were outside hooping growing up, we had to get past the first wave, a second, and possibly a third wave if we want to get a buck at the rim. Niggas are not seeing that nowadays.
You're saying it's like LeBron's taking mad easy bucks, bro. He does no easy buckets. In the course of a game, LeBron is taking
if
way
it's classified
tougher shots.
as easier because there's less people down there, then yes, that is exactly
all
what
of the
I'm
athletes
saying.
are better. The guys LeBron has to get past are not plumbers, fam.
I'd rather take those.
He had Gary Payton holding him for a series. He had Gary Payton and Deadlift Strip holding him for a series, bro. Gary Payton is 3 inches shorter than him, fam. Deadlift Strip is nowhere close to athletic enough to guard him.
He said he wasn't worried about that.
If I had to do my work, on a basketball court at the 3-point line versus having to live and do my work in the trenches, but still getting to the rim effectively, right? I'd rather have to do my work out here because that's less work than having to pick up my dribble. And now I have to maneuver like an Iverson or all these niggas that have to put in major work at the rim. All the time is what I'm saying.
Bro,
Iverson, these niggas are...
You need to watch more Laker games, fam. You think LeBron is shooting mad uncontested shots, dog?
That's
not true.
That's not true.
Bro.
They hold him from the second he get the ball to the second he let it go. Yeah, he beat him every now and then, but the cats he beat is way better.
When he blows
paint plays,
he's done put in a bunch of work.
Paint
LeBron
play was
don't shoot
tougher.
mid range. Every time he
true.
goes,
I didn't
he
say
gets
he
all
didn't
the
put
way.
Both things are true. Both
I
things
did
are
not
true.
say he didn't put in work.
Both things are true.
You said it like
I said
it like he get a cakewalk buckets. That don't happen
See,
for him.
that is
it don't happen.
cakewalk
You said
You do be doing that though.
I said where he's doing his work on the
uncontested
court.
bucks. You said easy uncontested
You
bucks.
Yes, because my nigga's getting his. He's
don't
taking
get
his
those.
1-2 step
He don't
with
get
nobody around
He
him.
don't get those.
He doesn't
That's
get
rare.
1-2
That's
takeoffs.
rare. That's rare.
Oh
On a
my
fast
goodness
break, he get an uncontested shot.
Oh
You're
my
right.
goodness
On a
gracious.
fast break, he get an uncontested
Oh
shot.
my goodness gracious.
How many of his uncontested
Look,
shots on a
Steph.
fast break?
Okay, I'm
highlight?
gonna keep going with these analogies until I find one for my mans. When we were going up, how tough was it to make sure that these niggas are not sliding underneath us or coming up underneath our heels and our ankles?
Way easier than it is for LeBron.
What do you mean?
It was easier for us to get uncontested shots than easy for LeBron.
Depending on what game he's playing.
No.
Depending on what squad he's out there. If he has to see Ernest Cantor tonight. If he has to go against Zaza tonight.
Them dudes is clowns to him.
But then niggas are clogging up the paint for him. So now, my nigga, now I have to really have to go in.
If
That's a game to game. I'm talking about as the league as a whole. Or before when we were going up
on the niggas that are in front of LeBron. Let's say
on the team as a whole, if a team didn't have nothing, if the team didn't have nothing to offer, what were they gonna do? They were gonna clog the paint. If a team don't have nothing, now they're gonna be like, oh well, let's just try and outscore them. We're not gonna try and stop them.
So people don't try to stop LeBron. All right, you win, man. You win, man. LeBron should have uncontested shots that teams are trying.
I'm not talking about just LeBron. I use him because he's the most dominating force to the rim.
Yeah,
I said a league round, across the league, bro.
Bro,
Across the league.
We all know it's softer now. But to say that we started with LeBron James. You moved to the league.
No, we started with Jordan. And we're talking about plumbers. And that's why I said I'd rather take those over nobody being down in the paint. That's how it started. And I use LeBron as a dominating force because he's
to say that there's a plumber at the basket and to say you'll take that over nobody being there means there's nobody there. And I'm refuting that wholeheartedly. LeBron does not shoot baskets where there is nobody there.
And that is crazy for you to believe.
Break,
I understand
and on
that
the
he's
rare
a
occasion
Laker,
when he could
and I really rock for him now. But for your, so you're saying okay,
you
out of
okay, no,
okay,
out of 100%,
out of 100, okay, out of all that shots,
all game long, man.
And all of them are contested all game long.
No, not all of them. But you're saying you said compared to a plumber, you'll take the plumber over what LeBron's dealing with, bro. I'm gonna help you out, bro. Everybody that's guarding LeBron is better than everybody that was guarding Jordan, fam. Athletically. Even if, let's say there's nobody there. Let's say it's uncontested basket. Let's say it's uncontested basket.
But how come they're not out there trying to do all this at the rim with him?
Let me say. Look, you said there's no third level, right? There's no third level, right?
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The
There's
paint
no
play
third
is
level.
That's what I said.
different.
I'm not sure what you guys are arguing about anymore.
If you're
I think you guys agree on that point.
If you're saying there's
You
no
don't
third
know
level,
how he argues. He's gonna take one aspect of my word and twist it to the whole thing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm agreeing.
I said you won a long time ago, so you got it.
Okay then.
LeBron James shoot. Raise your hand if LeBron James shoot mad
You
uncontested
can't see
shots.
them raise their hand. You should have told them to press the like button or
Nobody in the room's raising their hand, fam.
What you mean?
Nobody in the room raised their hand. Raise it. You didn't raise it. Raise your hand if LeBron. Raise your hand if LeBron James shoot mad uncontested shots. Only one. 4 people.
Okay.
One.
I'll pull up the clips then. Fuck it. Forget it.
I was trying to, but I couldn't find a montage.
It's okay. I'll do it.
You gonna type in LeBron James uncontested shots?
No, I'm gonna just type in highlights.
That's what I did.
Of course. I hope you find that. You searched it.
I will. Because if you think that I just
set
up and just said this,
watch a whole game,
my nigga.
Watch a whole game and then tell me how many shots he take and then how many uncontested.
And
LeBron shoot 20 shots.
You tell me. And you're saying all 20 are contested?
No, LeBron shoot 25 shots. How many are uncontested?
And no, I'm asking you. How many are contested? How many are contested?
17. Out of 20 shots.
17 out of 20 shots.
So, wow,
And the
what are you
other
talking
three
about?
are the other three are just fast breaks.
2 of them in fast break. Yeah.
So what is the other?
You think niggas
so
are
what is
trying
the
to
other
go,
one?
bro?
So he's
even
only
when
turning.
he beat somebody,
He's
he's
only
only help
turning
defender
the.
coming. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
LeBron James beat somebody. They go. He got.
I'm
it.
not looking at that.
I know you not. I know you not.
This
I know
nigga
you not looking
said.
at
This
it.
nigga said that there's so the help defense in this era is mad tough. It's mad tough.
Now I'm moving the
Oh my
goalpost. Now I'm
goodness
moving the
gracious.
goalpost. I'm moving the goalpost. And you hear what he just said?
I asked the
You heard what
question.
he just said?
I asked the question. What did I say?
I asked you a question. I asked you a question, and you answered
did I
it with a
say?
question. That's why I said
What
you're
was your
moving the
question?
goalpost.
I said no. Last thing you said.
I said even when LeBron James is going to the Buck, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. They got. He got it. He got it.
Yes. What are you talking?
I seen LeBron James. It's not. It's 100% not true. I seen LeBron James throw an alley oop and they contested the alley oop, fam. He passing it. He passing it and they contesting it.
What?
Niggas running over to him trying to close out. I'm gonna help you out, bro. He's the guy that's trying to stop on the Lakers. They not leaving him open for a bunch of shots.
Bro, okay. All right.
What you want me to say?
Okay.
What you
No,
think?
I'm dead in the conversation because
I'm
I'm dead in the conversation.
I answered your
We need
question.
to
Out
talk
of 20, how many are open?
I'm dead in the conversation because that's not going. I'm not going there. That's not it. That's not it.
Now
That's not what I was
it's
saying.
dead. Now it's
That's
dead.
not what I was saying.
Now
That's
it's
not what I
dead.
was saying. That's not what I was saying. So
Out of 20,
you
out of
keep
20, how many open?
you can keep twisting and trying again, but I just said that's not what I was
I
saying.
asked you a question. You
No,
asked me.
but that's what I said.
How many are open out of 20?
I don't
Yo,
know.
you don't
I don't
know?
know. I don't watch enough games.
No.
I don't know watching enough games.
All right.
I don't
Then
watch
just
enough
say
games.
that at the beginning, bro.
Bro, don't you know that about me? From facts. Don't you know that I already don't know that? And
Bro,
don't-
you told me that he shooting
And
uncontested shots.
I said the era of paint play. I'm not talking about just
That's why I
LeBron.
said
My
Two
bad.
things are true. I think
That's what I'm talking about. Just the era of
true.
paint play,
LeBron
bro.
didn't play in Jordan's era. I don't understand.
Family.
We know that they played with more contact back then. Nobody's disputing that.
And
You
yeah.
started this by saying he shoots mad uncontested shots.
I
Those
said
were
the-
your words. Did you not say mad uncontested?
I don't know. I don't remember. My memory's bad.
Well, I remember we need to do this Thriving While Black before we get up out of here. I finally got one after months of not having one. The young man by the name of Nicholas Johnson. He becomes the first black valedictorian in Princeton's 274-year history. He's what's up?
I didn't realize Princeton was that old.
Let me see. He's an operations, research, and financial engineering concentrator from Montreal. He plans to spend this summer interning as a hybrid quantitative research and software developer.
Okay.
Let's see. I think that's it. Let me see. Before he starts to begin PhD studies in operations research at MIT in the fall of 2020. So yeah, I found that on Black Enterprise Instagram page. You can find the full article there. Mr. Nicholas Johnson, first black valedictorian at Princeton School of History.
That's what up. Big ups. You should. We should put that on the page. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put that on the page. Our Thriving While Blacks. I'm gonna just make it a highlight. So
You?
all of them are there.
Cause you were supposed to do that with the music and everything.
Well, I didn't do it with the playlist because I wasn't making the playlist consistently because I wasn't making it on the music that was coming off. I was kind of making them just like my music. So that's gonna all be the same. No, that's fire. That's fire. Thriving While Black.
Physics.
I'll tell you about it off air. Anyway, Family Room Podcast, episode 45. I'm Mike Roan.
Stefan Room.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, give it to him.
Give him what? What you want? Nah, it's
My
Jesse.
guy Jesse, I really appreciate the hospitality. Thanks for letting us
Yeah.
do the podcast here, man. Family Room Podcast, we out.
Yeah.